2 years ago, my wife, 37 female, and I, 39 male, decided to foster. We have 3 children and felt terrible that there were kids out in the world who needed a loving home. Our first 2 placements only lasted a few days. It was fine, but then we were placed with Olivia, a young teen. I won't go into personal details, but we were her 5th foster home since she was a tween. My wife and I literally tried everything to help, but she was rebellious. She ran away, broke things, stole things, and lied. She lied so much it was insane. It was months and months of this. Just when we thought things were getting better, she would ruin it. The 6th time she ran away, we had enough. We asked to have her removed. She said, "I knew you didn't care, I knew you didn't want me, you just wanted the money." My wife and I lost it. We reminded her how we listened to her, took her places she wanted to go, and encouraged her. We told her we didn't spend a dime of the foster care money. Instead, we saved it for her so she could have money when she turned 18. We showed her the bank account with thousands of dollars in it and said that when she's 18 she can still have it. At that point she realized we cared, but it was too late. She went back into the system and we're not sure what happened. Life went on, we had another baby and we moved a few miles away. Last Saturday night my wife received a call from Olivia, now young teen. She put it on speakerphone. Olivia apparently ran away from another foster home and had been living on the streets for days. Eventually she made it to our old neighborhood. I told her that we moved. She asked us if we could pick her up from a certain location. She asked if we could take her in. She was crying, saying that she loved the kids. She missed my wife's cooking. She wants me to teach her how to play piano. I started teaching her as a way to bond. I felt bad for her, but taking her back was impossible. We feared she would run away again, so we told her we would be there. We called the police instead and they took her in. A few days later, the police contacted us, saying Olivia's foster parents were pressing charges. She stole a few things. Also, Olivia had a vape with spice in it. We were told that she would probably go to juvenile detention until she's 18. This is what we were told. Unsure if it will happen. They asked if we wanted any updates and we declined. We also asked them not to have her contact us again. Today, we talked to some friends about this. While some agreed with us, a few called us monsters. One of our friends said, "I would have scooped that baby up and kept her." Legally, there was nothing we could do. Am I the idiot for not picking up my former foster daughter in the middle of the night? Not the idiot, but man oh man, what a gut-wrenching situation for you. Having worked with kids like this who end up on the street, the reality is this. Her needs far outweighed your skill sets. You don't have the training or skill sets to foster a kid like that. Neither do any of your circle. That baby needs way more than being scooped up and kept. Just to let you know, you already did that. She will require a full panel of professional support and services. Only she can decide if she wants that. Still, gut-wrenching for you and your wife. But she has to want help and support, otherwise nothing will be accomplished. You said everything I wanted to. With her having been through 5 fosters in just 2 years at such a young age, some deep issues predated OP's involvement and would and will need years of therapy to overcome. Given the circumstances, they did their best in that situation with what they knew. Can I go against the grain and say you are the idiot? You shouldn't have fostered that girl if you weren't prepared for her to act out. Most kids in the system have been abused or neglected. They don't behave like children who've been raised in a loving home, like it seems you expected her to behave. In my opinion, you ultimately made her situation worse when you should have been aware of what would most likely happen. I hope anyone who reads this or has heard your story is able to understand that fostering is a huge commitment and that these kids deserve better. Exactly. You are the idiot. So we told her that we would be there. We called the police instead and they took her in. Yes, you're an idiot. So it isn't okay for her to lie, but it's okay for you to lie? Heck no. You have to follow the same rules that you expect from others. You lied to her. You are no better than her. So I, 28 female, have a pretty severe peanut allergy. I carry an EpiPen everywhere and have had some near-fatal experiences in the past because of it. Because of this allergy, I'm super careful about where I go and what I eat. Here's where the controversy started. My friend Sarah, 30 female, has 3 kids, a kindergartner, a pre-tween and a tween, and she's convinced that I'm being too dramatic about my allergy. A few weeks ago, I visited her place for a casual play date and coffee date. She was making a peanut butter sandwich for the kids and I reminded her again about my allergy. I even told her I would be super careful and would help with the kids' snack arrangements so I wouldn't be around anything unsafe. Well, Sarah seemed to completely not care. She gave the kids peanut butter cookies and said, "Oh, it'll be fine, just don't eat them." I freaked out a bit and told her it's not just about me eating the food, it's about cross-contamination and accidents that can happen. She rolled her eyes and said, "You can't live in a bubble." Fast forward to today. I went to a birthday party to which Sarah was also invited. Again, she brought peanut butter cupcakes for the kids. I can't even describe how furious I was. I confronted her and told her that she absolutely needs to be more considerate of my allergy, especially since I'm putting myself at risk every time I'm around her kids. Now she's posting on social media about how I don't like her kids and that I'm making her feel like a bad mom because she can't feed them what she wants. She even sent me a text saying, "You're being dramatic and making everything about you." Am I the idiot for expecting her to keep her kids' snacks peanut-free when I'm around? Am I being unreasonable, or is she just being neglectful and inconsiderate? I honestly feel like I'm losing my mind here. Peanut butter sandwiches, peanut butter cookies, and peanut butter cupcakes? If this is real, Sarah's trying to prove something, and she's going to get you killed doing it. Sarah is not your friend. Stop hanging out with her. Stop going places you know she's going to be, or at least places you know she'll be bringing food. Let people know exactly why. Be clear that you're not calling her a bad mom, you're calling her a crappy friend who thinks allergies are drama and it's not worth your life to educate her. She isn't just showing that she doesn't care, she's acting with active animosity. I don't know why people are like this with illness and allergies, but they will try to test you. At the slightest inconvenience, people will decide you're faking whatever is inconveniencing them and attempt to prove it isn't real with some sort of gotcha. Except the gotcha can literally kill you. Opie needs to get this friend out of her life before she ends up in the hospital. The background is my daughter Jen, fake name, 40 female, is married to Sarah, 48 female. Sarah had a kid from a previous marriage, Mandy, 21 female, and Sarah and Jen have 3 other children, one who was adopted from foster care and the others conceived through IVF. Mandy goes to college near me and works part-time at the horse farm I own as a riding instructor for youth levels. She's a good employee who's good with both kids and horses, so I've never had any trouble with her. Recently, I overheard Mandy talking to the parents of a student. They asked her how she got the job and she said, "Oh, my grandmother owns the school," and called it a family business. This gives me pause because I do not consider Mandy to be family. She's my daughter's stepkid. I took her aside that afternoon and told her that I would really appreciate her not using loaded terms like that, and she pushed back saying, "Jen legally adopted me. In the eyes of the court, she is my mom." I told her the eyes of the court are one thing. Still, family means something else to me personally, and while I appreciate the hard work she puts in, we don't share a blood connection. I don't consider her family, just a trusted employee. She started challenging me, asking if I considered her adopted sibling to be family, and I was honest and said no. None of Sarah's children are family to me as we share no blood relation. She went off, but I kept things professional and ended the conversation. Well, Mandy called out for the next 3 days she was scheduled to work, and I was furious. About a week later, she called to tell me she found another job. She also said she'd work for less money than she could have made elsewhere because she thought we were family, but now she was looking into getting a lawyer for wage theft, which I'm confident she doesn't have a case for as I paid her for all her shifts. I tried to talk to Jen and Sarah about this, but Mandy had already gotten to them as they were pretty frosty and not interested in having the conversation about Mandy's behaviour being completely out of line. I don't feel as if I'm in the wrong. I was honest when Mandy asked if I considered her family and enforced a reasonable boundary about it. I can't help that without a biological relation, I don't feel a family connection to someone. Am I the idiot? You are the idiot. Now Sarah, Jen, and their kids know the truth and can act accordingly. Your daughter is the mother of all 4 of these children, whether you like it or not. If you were underpaying her, not paying her at least minimum wage, etc., then yes, you committed wage theft. Mandy didn't get to anyone, and her behaviour was not out of line. She told her parents what you said, and they decided you were not worth their time or attention. They do not need to expose their children to your behaviour. Absolutely. How can you say this to this young woman? And why? And why would you say those terrible things about your daughter's other children? Blood doesn't make family. Again, louder for people in the back. Blood doesn't make family. OP, I hope you're happy because you have no family now. Let me guess. You don't really approve of your daughter's sexuality, do you? You don't like a wife and don't consider her children your grandchildren, so it's pretty obvious what you're leaving out of this. You are the idiot. Family is not about genetics. I hope you get nothing further from your daughter and that she has a say in picking your nursing home. I, 38 female, am a dressmaker and have my own shop. It's been a custom in my friend group that my wedding gifts to friends who marry is an original wedding dress made to their taste, and I've done this for 2 friends. I love my job and friends, so it's always been an easy choice for me. However, I'm currently 26 weeks pregnant with my first child and trying to lessen my workload as I prepare for my maternity leave and pass larger projects over to my employees. My friend informed me last night that she's getting married. I was, of course, so happy for her and congratulated her. She asked me if I'd be making her dress for her, and I told her, of course, to just let me know when they had a date. I was told they already had a date in January. That was fine, 1 year and 5 months, perfect. Plenty of time to do the designs and make it, and I expressed as much to her. But she corrected me. It wasn't next year like I assumed. I was a bit shocked at this and told her that if that's the date she'd picked, I'd have to take back my promise as there was no way I could make her dress in that time frame, as I would not be too long postpartum. I asked her to reconsider the date if she wanted me to make a dress, pointing out that 5 months wasn't much time to plan a wedding anyway, but she insisted that was when she wanted it. I didn't push as it was up to her, but I made it clear I would not be able to make that dress for her then. She didn't understand this, pointing out how I'd be taking time off work soon anyway, and that couldn't I just use that time to make her dress. I admit in hindsight I got a bit snappish here. She likely didn't realise just how much work goes into a wedding dress, but I asked her if she'd hit her head and why she'd think it was okay to ask me to put stress on my pregnancy for her wedding dress. She's been putting messages in the group chat, calling me out for it, and saying that it's easy to tell who my favourites are and that it's clear her feelings are hurt. I'm annoyed, but also feeling a bit regretful about this. I can't trust my employees to make a wedding dress without me as their skill level isn't up to that, but maybe I could have a rehearsal dinner dress made for her, or even a reception dress to soothe the hurt of her not getting the custom dress she wants. So you, in fact, offered her an incredibly generous gift that will take you a great deal of work. You advised her that this amount of work needs a certain time frame, and the ungrateful idiot has the nerve to demand that you do it in a time frame you can't accommodate while on maternity leave and recovering from the birth of your baby. You are in no way an idiot here. She is, though, and I'd suggest that, given her attitude, she does not deserve a dress from you. OP, quit feeling guilty. She's not the kind of friend you should be making a dress for, even if you could. Text the same friend group that she gave you 5 months to make her dress while pregnant. The ones who have gotten a dress will absolutely understand. Sounds like it's time to stop gifting free wedding dresses, and I would make a public post about it. Something like, due to the recent behaviour of a former friend of mine, I will no longer be gifting custom wedding dresses to future brides. Going forward, you can have certain folks pay for the cost of materials if you so choose, but even then I wouldn't bother. As a seamstress and cosplayer myself, the audacity of your friend is astounding. And to anyone who thinks you're in the wrong, time to cut them out of your life. I, 39 female, have 3 kids, 18 female, a teen female and a teen male with my husband 48. The problem is with my mother-in-law 70 and my son, let's call him John. For a few months my mother-in-law has been commenting that my son wears normal clothes, Nike, Adidas and Reebok, while my daughters wear high fashion stuff. I try to make her understand that John doesn't care about clothing and that I buy him most of his clothes. He spends a lot of money on PC games and graphic cards and always wants the newest iPhone Pro. She accused me of favouring my daughters and spending more on them because they wear more expensive clothes. I tried to explain to her that John's gaming PC setup alone is twice as expensive as my girls' wardrobes combined, but she didn't care and started to compensate. She began giving money and gifts exclusively to John, not to her granddaughters. When my husband and I told her this wasn't fair, she said that I should taste my own medicine. The relationship between my mother and my daughters went downhill pretty fast, but she doesn't care. She's too fixated on John. My husband warned her and had many debates with her, but she was adamant. Even worse, she started airing our dirty laundry in public and spreading the lie that John is a second-class citizen in our home. I finally flipped this past Sunday. She accused me again of favouritism in front of my sister-in-law. I asked her to go to John's room and check the stuff herself and then Google the prices. I told her to shut the heck up already and stop damaging my son's relationship with his sisters with her venom. She left my house crying and pathetically threatened me. My husband and sister-in-law think I was right in principle, but I was too hard on her. Now I feel kind of bad. She is my husband's mother after all, and I want them and her and my kids to have a good relationship. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. This was a blow-up that was coming in a long time. What you and your husband do inside your house with your kids is your business when they're technically being treated equally. Just because your mother-in-law doesn't understand economics doesn't mean she automatically has authority over your household. Maybe it was a little too harsh, maybe it wasn't. That's up to you to determine. I personally stand behind what you've said. You didn't say anything threatening to her. Her character was not attacked. You addressed the situation as it was. Wow, are Nike, Adidas and Reebok normal? I grew up wearing Kmart clothes. I know they're gone now, but I'm old. You can't fix the damage she's doing to your daughters. She's obviously a boy grandma. It sounds like your mother-in-law is misogynistic. If your husband is on board with keeping things fair, then when the mother-in-law overcompensates towards your son, refuse the gifts, block her on social media and go low contact. You don't need that crap in your life. Your daughters can see how she's favoring your son, and that alone will taint the relationship they have with her. That is not your doing. If mother-in-law chooses to go this route, that's all on her. You cannot control her behavior.